friends, fiends! How you doing? Ready for more stories from your favorite storytellers? Cool, let's do this! When last we spoke, our heroes took out Bonhart, one of Bonham's simulacrums. It was a big fight, and we won. Hooray! We pick right back up as our heroes start to investigate the command tent and figure out what to do with the rescued gnomes. Let's not waste another minute and jump right back into these demon days.
The fight is over. The enemy is defeated. Bonhart has sloughed away, revealing a pitch-black rod, similar to the one that you found with Bonenheim. His thralls are more flesh and blood, so they're just there, corpses. Same with some of the more eager guards who fell under the three of you, and the rest are pretty much short work. Doesn't take a whole lot to clean up the area, make it safe for the time being. You rescue the 4 drow that had been tied up. One had its throat mostly caved in, but Yewsiff took care of that, fixed him. No deaths, thanks to you. The other gnomes have stopped working to congregate around you all, follow you, see what you're doing, see what's going on, and await any kind of orders. And Yewsiff, you find the command tent of Bonhart and crew, and you see a lot of papers, just a lot of papers, a lot of stuff that just makes your eyes glaze right over and makes you think of one name in particular, and that's Feder. He might be able to help you find things out. And this is where we find you guys right now.
Hey, Feder.
Yes.
I think, we better come take a look at this.
All right, okay. I'll, kind of, as I'm still just kind of helping the Drow lads get back on their feet and together and be like, you guys gonna be all right for a minute? I think we're, I think the coast is kind of clear, but we kind of ran off or dispatched almost everybody on the way in here, so I think we've got some time. So, why don't you lads, and I'll pull out like some water and hand it to them and be like, take a rest, take a breather. I know it's probably been weird and hard for you guys.
They appreciate the gesture, and they gather around each other and recuperate.
At some point, gents, we're going to want a debrief of how things have gone down here, but we're going to look around a bit first. So I'll head over to the tent with Yewsiff. And what are we looking at?
A lot.
Okay, so
Straight up investigation check.
First I'm just going to I see the big stack of papers. First I'm just going to kind of scan the tent and see with an eye for detail and see what I see.
I'm going to roll an investigation just to see what I gleaned off of all this.
Sure.
Not a lot. Big whopping 4.
Ooh.
Natural 20 to start the game.
Feder, on the other hand.
So
outside of the looking through the papers, you're just kind of checking the scene, making sure everything's safe
just
and in order?
in the tent, either hidden things, good or bad. Like, this is obviously the stuff they felt comfortable leaving out. I want to see what was the stuff that was stashed. Lockboxes, hidden things, anything that looks out of order, anything that was trying to be hidden away. So that's just a reminder, everyone, that's a 31.
31 shows up in the middle of the screen. Yeah, as far as security goes for a hastily put together mining operation that is on the moral down low, not really any lock boxes down here. Everything is out in the open on the table. And it suggests that maybe of any of the Bonhams you've met, that these are that these simulacrum are maybe not the most strategic compared to the main one.
Big dum-dum thick boy didn't hide anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Nothing is hidden. Everything is on the table, but it is kind of hidden in plain sight, as Yewsiff has proven, in that all the information is just there out in the open, but it is in no manner of organization whatsoever. It is hard to parse unless you just sit down and take the time with it, because it's just there. It's a big stone slab table and large enough to just be a mess. This is daunting even for an archivist. There's that much mess of papers, and a lot of it is useless, but there's still some gems in there that you do find with your 31. The first thing being maybe the most obvious out of it is the mining ledger. It's just a fairly tall and thin tome that is opened maybe 3/4 of the way through, and it's simply mining operations from start to current. And it's just, I don't know if you see any of those rule notebooks that have this pure grid. It is just pure grid with detail, very minute and fine. Little checks here, little boxes here that coincide. It is, think of the most densest Excel sheet you've ever thought of.
I'm so good with an Excel sheet.
Which is why you notice as you thumb through it almost naturally. You've been through a lot of documentation and dis and seen a lot of the boring paperwork that some of your aunts just frustratingly sigh at. And there's a trend. There's a trend of the Skirl mining operations from start to current. And when you look at it, it's almost like looking at a 3D picture where you kind of cross your eyes and you see the image in there. Here you see a pattern, not quite exponential, but that over time more and more Skirl is being found, and that there is more to find, suggesting that maybe when this started, there was a couple of spots here and there that had these strange gems. Cool, you mined them and you were done. The next day, wait, there's double. Next day, no, there's the same amount, but maybe one more. Kind of a trend that wants to go exponential, but is...
Can I cross-check that to see if it corresponds with them going deeper or going in a certain direction or going outward, or you know what I mean? Like, or is it just like, does it seem that like the Skirl is like, I mean, crystalline, this would take forever, but like growing, or does it seem like they have hit new veins deeper?
That's where it's harder to tell if it's one or the other, because you could make a good argument for both. In your initial glance, it seems to be more of that there's more growing, so they're not going nearly as deep.
Right.
You don't see any, like, they're not super deep in terms of depth. The construction of the elevator going down is a fairly newish construction. They haven't been going too deep. They just haven't been able to really go deep because they keep having more to mine.
Yeah.
So there's kind of this both, but that would be the first thing that catches your mind, is that maybe that there's just more growing.
Right. Okay. Do we want another roll for the rest of the pile, or is that?
Oh, I can give you more.
Yeah,
your 31's kind of covering most of it.
Hey, real quick, Johnny, how is Feder looking?
Oh, I'm all right. I'm a little beat up, but I'm mostly fine. I'm pretty tip top. If anything, I'm just like casually with my cane as I'm looking over stuff, just like brushing myself off.
Yeah, he's a bit battered around. You and Tazlin, on the other hand, Yewsiff, you guys are in pretty rough shape. Tazlin is...
That was my next thing. If he looks okay, I'm going to go look for Tazlin and see how she's doing.
Okay. Yeah, you head over and start to look for her as she's recovering. If you guys want... You guys can go first if you want to talk, or I can give Feder the next couple things here that he finds.
Go ahead and give Feder.
Yeah, I was going to say, go ahead and
give him the business? All right. So the next thing you see, through digging through the papers and shifting things around, is a drafted but not signed series of requests. And this is requests to bolster the mining ranks with criminals and wayward children, written in kind of a clumsier script, but given how authoritative it is, it's probably Bonhart. It's just the script of someone with larger hands who is maybe not as careful about how they're writing. But it requests that he hasn't gotten to giving to himself. He needs more. More is needed to mine, and the gnomes aren't enough. You also see a rough map of the area you guys are in, the main Skirl mine, and a couple dotted areas with Drow words in clumsy script suggesting that he thinks there might be some Drow routes to the further into the Underdark, or maybe back up to Sky Point, to the Sink. Not sure, not willing to divert resources to that. Then you kind of get through the rest of the table. The rest of the papers are not that interesting, but out of the corner of your eye, you do see some of the bedrolls. They all have things on there, and just a stack of papers just wadded underneath the pillow on the bed, the makeshift bedding, which looks like it's probably Bonhart's resting spot. And in that grouping of papers, it's kind of like a journal. Curt, machine-like journal. Just very matter-of-fact. Mild frustration at not knowing the plan. Curious about what happened to the real Lugarius. Curious why all this trouble for some worthless gems. Concern for Bonenheim due to the pulsing key within his chest. How many more keys will he make for this stupid phylactery? Stuff like that. And
the keys in his chest, or the keys in Prime's chest?
He mentions his chest.
In his chest.
Yeah. But
Okay.
he's cut, like, he's not using articles in this. It's just very matter of fact.
Right. And we got the rods from Mortberg, Bonheim, and this Bonheim, right?
Yep.
And we think, and the other one, like, sloughed off in the theater, right? When we killed him, he kind of...
he kind of died a different way.
Right.
Not quite the same as these two. These two died in kind of a weird fleshy, simulacrum sort of way.
Okay. Okay, band meeting, and I'll gather up all this stuff, and I was like, hey, can I have... Just looking around, who's the smartest looking gnome and the smartest looking drow that are here? Of the assembled, is there anyone that looks like a leader or a foreman or a... Taz, do you know any of these dudes? Do you know any of the drow folk?
Nope, there's been a lot of turnover.
Yeah, these are fresh-faced drow. Mm-hmm. Some of the gnomes are also very dirty. I mean, one who does take some authority, does step up with one of the drow. They're all pretty beat up, but they do come to you. Like, yeah, we can fill this role.
Right, so... hey, gang. Drow folks, we've got some other news, but this is one of the new lieutenants in the Mangalalar. If you all would have, seriously, on the drive here, I just sat in the car after listening back to the last couple episodes, and I was just going, Mangalalar, and I had my first chance to do it, and I fucked it up. Mangalalar. Right, okay, Drow gang. New big boss over at the Mangalalar, so mind your P's and Q's.
A couple thoughts you see cross their mind, most visibly, just new boss. What happened to old boss? Like, suddenly 1,000 questions flit across their face. You see every one of them.
No time for that.
Okay.
Update later. So looking through here, gang. Obviously, we noticed that you all were set upon to get these very specific red gems, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so looking through the ledger, it seems like more and more of them were found. Now, my question for you all is, were you going to other places to find these, or were these appearing kind of... Were they growing more? Were you finding them in places you previously hadn't found them? I'm trying to figure out if you guys dug deeper, or if the gems came to you.
The gnome speaks up. If I may, excuse me. It seemed like they were growing. I mean, we kept digging, and there'd be spots that even I would work on, and I'd clear it away, and maybe not a day later, there would be more there and more to work at, and it would look like, for a while, that we weren't actually working in some spots. Like, we would clear it away, and then the next day there would be more there, and then...
Wait, so the next day? Or like...
Well, he kind of looks up at the...
half a 10-day?
Maybe that's more like it. There are no days down here.
Right.
Like, I mean, my days happen when I go to sleep, and who knows when that could be. And if you want an insight, just to kind of get a sense of what they're thinking, not that they're lying.
7 becomes 10 becomes 20. What?
Yeah, he's probably conflating one day with maybe 3.
Okay. Ugh.
Whatever the physical taxing amount of days without sleep for gnomes would be, that would be about it. Maybe 3 days. That seems to be a little bit more likely than what he's saying is 1 day.
Right.
But that's just my spot. There are others where they would clean through and have to dig deeper before they found more. And then when they got to that area, that would start to match what they were doing. It was kind of a contentious point, to be honest. There were a few of us who were sent away because they were perceived to be not working.
Yeah.
Where were they sent?
They were sent somewhere up somewhere.
Upstairs,
I don't know.
Upstairs, probably towards the kitchen is my guess. Other question. Seeing some requests here, not that I'm sure you guys, since you aren't really minors by choice here, it seems like our friend Bonhart was trying to scab you out with a bunch of criminals and street urchins. How did that play into all of this? Because
That would have been...
we've only seen gnomes and drow on our way down here liberating all of this.
I don't know anything about criminals and children, but I was under the impression that there was a reason we were doing this, and it was because of some skill we brought to it, or because of some relationship to Chesterfield or something. I mean, it was Bonham's explicit request to desire to have us down here digging. I don't know what...
We've seen a gnome or two from your party, and Yewsiff, you can speak to this if you'd like, in different stations. Very rare around the city. Do you think the most of you are assembled here, or was there another group broken off somewhere on some sort of other charge?
Yeah, Yewsiff is curious. He's judging off of, like, the vision that he had when he saw Bonham the first time at the tower, with all the gnomes that were being, like, carted away. Does this seem like the bulk that were left, or should there be more someplace?
There seems like there should be more someplace, but it's hard to say where. And even this one knows. He mentions. I mean, there was a larger group of us, and we kind of got separated and filtered based off of, I don't know, ability, hardiness, or something. I know that. Yeah, I was a little too scared to pay much attention. The Drow speaks up. Yeah, there may be. I've been listening, and I think maybe that some were splintered off and sent somewhere else, maybe. Sent somewhere else, or used for something else. That seemed to be the rumor among the guards, but that's hearsay. And if there's anything I know about the guards, the minion guards, is that they're very bored in the mind. And they come up with their own fancies. But I think we're not seeing the full amount here at this time. And by now, a lot have stopped clinking as word has spread around. There's a sizable amount of gnomes now kind of congregated as you guys are all talking. And the chatter is relatively low as they're just figuring out what happened. Are they free? What's going on? But they haven't approached. They're all on the periphery waiting and seeing. The Drow nods down here like, this is all of the main group.
Did they come from the way that we came in, or is it like kind of all like coming from all the corners, like the route that we took, the gnomes that we
but also different routes too.
Okay.
So every conceivable entrance into this main area that you guys are fighting in, this main mine staging area, every exit has groupings of gnomes starting to appear. Some, dragging the minion bodies with them. So there seems to be some ripple out.
Okay.
From there.
To further our Mario connection that we had from last time, are some of the entrances, do they look like pipe tunnels?
God. Pipe-esque tunnels. You hear some gnomes come in like... Hey, Mario!
Jesus.
Yeah, and so with that amount of information, you're pretty much tapped on what they know. And I know you guys were meeting together just to heal.
Yeah.
Because you guys are both in really rough shape. Were you guys nearby as he's interrogating?
Yeah, I feel like during this time, like, Yewsiff would have walked over to Taz and kind of put his hand on her shoulder, and you get 12
Yeah,
hit points
because
back.
I've just been chilling with the wounded drow that I'm like, I've been sitting there with like holding my side, just being like, I'm just gonna sit here and chat with you guys.
In that case, if he sees pain, like, he would have like just kind of like gestured to like move your hands, and he'll put his hand on your side that you were covering, and you get 12 hit points back. And then as he grabs his necklace, and he's going to grab the other one as well, you get 5 hit points back from that one.
Hey, I'm almost at half.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe it's the Baldur's Gate 3 talking, but John, have we been at it long enough that we could take a short rest?
Definitely a short rest.
Maybe.
A short rest, maybe.
Short rest.
Not a long rest.
Burn some hit dice.
Yeah. You can. This is a lot of light activity.
That sounds dynamite. I'm going to do that.
But also the drow who's sitting next to you, Teslin, who has newly recovered his throat and breathing functions. Leader, huh? Boss? What happened?
Yewsiff nods to him. He's like, yep. And then he'll go, like, walk towards the gnomes while she debriefs him.
I just sit there and go, not here, not now.
Okay. Fair.
Real quick, for short rest, is it half your hit die or is it your proficiency bonus? I can't remember.
For a short rest, you don't get anything back. You can use your
burn hit. You have 1 hit die per level.
Right.
Yeah, so you
Plus
burn,
your con modifier.
You burn a certain amount of hit dice to roll to be able to heal.
No, I know, but is it up to half your level or is it your proficiency bonus that you get to do that? I can't remember.
You've got a pool.
You have a pool. You can
burn them
use
all.
all of them if you want to.
Yeah, if you wanted to right now, you could use them all.
Oh, that's right.
if-
No, I'm thinking of I'm thinking of you get them back. I think you get half of them back when you do a full rest.
Half
Yeah.
back and
Yes.
full rest, yeah.
Got it.
And if you burn through all of them, you're on the risk of exhaustion. But
Now, just to briefly back up before you got to all the paperwork, Feder, what I forgot was that you and a few of the gnomes were grabbing loose gems and things like that. And before you got pulled into the paperwork and then your interrogation, you did manage to find 5 very roughly hewn diamonds. In a pinch, they'll do, but you may want to look into getting those shaped, or at least getting some of the excess and the rough cut off of that. You also find 5 rough amber and 3 rough emeralds. And of course, the gnomes who are with you and following your lead, they found their own little pockets of things. But those are, out of all the time you spent on that before getting pulled away, 5 seemed to be in pretty good shape that you could do something with, that you could get appraised and possibly find their value with without a lot of effort.
copy that. Yeah, so I'll hand those off to Yewsiff and just be like, hey, look, diamonds. I'll show Taz too. Taz, we've got diamonds now, so maybe we won't all. Considering we all
I hold up like a shaky thumb.
How many were there?
5 rough ones.
5 rough diamonds.
Yeah, I didn't tell you about any of the other shit. I'm keeping that figure out something to do with it.
And also, you find in some of the bedrolls some food provisions amongst the bedrolls for Bonhart and his other thralls. No food under his provision bag, but
Right.
amongst all of them, you get 30 gold. Just some basic
I'm gonna pocket that too.
Yeah. Turns out Bonhart doesn't need a whole lot in the way of food and supplies to do what he was doing.
Hey, Taz.
Yep.
So, I don't know, arcana-wise, it seems like they were regrowing the gems here. And I'm wondering if that was motivated by some sort of spell or some sort of arcane engine or what would do that? Because we've only heard that these are exceedingly rare. We've only seen them once or twice.
I got a dirty 20 for Arcana, John.
Ooh, dirty.
Given the way in which it's rare, whoa doggy, lots of gems, there could be some element of magical harvest in that things that may have affected the world in general have now just started to yield things. That's the vibe you get from this. That
So it's not necessarily regrowing the Great Barrier Reef.
right. This gives off a vibe of something triggered the growth of this, and now this thing is just going to play out how it plays out.
It seems like they just happened to find a large cash payload and are.
Yeah, I guess the question behind the question for me is did Bonham do something magically? Is there some sort of engine or growth ray or something that?
I don't think it was anything he did.
Yeah, it just for some reason, it just so happened to regrow all the things that they were looking for. It seems like an odd bit of coincidence, but I'm trying to manage our to-do list, and if destroying the Skirl gem.
The way that it seems to me is that, when a flower, like a dandelion, just poofs in the seeds, and seeds landed, and seeds are sprouting.
So
And
the
they're-
nature of the mining caused it to propagate. The mining and collection begat more mining and collection.
He's
Potentially.
thinking locally, and that could be a factor in it. But this is longer term. This is more like
potentially what it seems like to me is it's been an occurrence that has happened long before Bonham figured out to utilize it.
Yeah, so the whole continent is slowly turning into scale gems. Is that?
Seems like.
Oh, that's good. Mm-hmm. So I wonder what would happen if a giant arcane bomb or something flooded the underground full of blood.
I think
An
I would need a
entire-
lot more clothes.
An entire cavern. What would...
Maybe
what would,
stop saying it out loud.
No, I'm talking to Taz. You know what I mean? What would that do?
you have to click into that conversation they're having.
It seems like they were still mining it, but this much raw potential sitting under a giant city seems terrifying. I don't know. I'm maybe chasing phantoms at this point, but
I think this much raw material sitting under anybody's feet is terrifying.
yeah. Well, I feel like I've got all these resources here. Listen, Bonhart, not the brightest of the bonds. So I feel like we've got everything we need here. His notes did mention other ways out, perhaps one to the sink, one seemingly deeper into the Underdark. Do we want to try to navigate? And I'll look up over at the Drow, and I'll be like, "You lads know any other ways out of here other than the way in through the mall?"
They talk amongst themselves briefly. The one who was talking to you earlier comes over. Yeah, I think so. There's a route or two that could lead us back to the sink. A little harder to travel, a little bit more time consuming than just going straight up through the maw. But we could take it, and if we need to, we could take some gnomes with us or whatever you're planning on doing. It's just it would need the four of us and maybe even some
Right.
more help to come, and
The question is,
so we could actually guard them this
how
time.
hard, how time consuming? Like, should we all bed down here at the scene of the crime for a minute, or?
Well, I mean, it's up to you. We the four of us just need enough time to, get the blood flow back. Maybe an hour or two, a couple hours, and then we could just start working our way back to the ship or the sink. It would be easy to hide these gnomes in the sink.
Yeah, but it's not a sheer climb. There's not basilisk spawning points or something. It's just a walk.
I feel like if there is a sheer climb, we can just pick up the gnomes and throw them.
Let's just say that the gnomes will have an easier time through some of the passages than we do. In terms of its size, it's more of, can you stand fully? Are you sliding through? So it's time consuming, and then there are some creatures, but as long as
We can send Yewsiff in first, and he can carve out some of it for us.
Very slowly.
The Drow chuckles weakly. We'd have a harder.
Well,
we'd have enough miners to work around him, I guess, to get him unstuck.
So it seems to me, and again, gang, Yewsiff, this is your very serious rescue mission. Our two options are we take one of these other ways to the sink, which sounds good to me, barring an invasion of elder caps or some sort of bullshit, a rift, more demons, anything like that. Or we create some sort of a spectacular diversion, close down the tavern completely, empty it of which it's the biggest tavern in the city.
I feel like if we're trying to be inconspicuous, it's probably easier to go underground.
Right. That's what I'm leading toward. I'm with Yewsiff. I just want to put that out there as another option. It's an easier march, but a harder time getting them to some place generally safe.
Well, you three had a fairly easy time getting down here, yes? It's just the scope of all the gnomes that would be an issue. I mean, I've only just met you guys, but...
Yeah, I mean, it was easy peas. I mean, we were taking the industrial route. We were taking the freight elevator.
This many gnomes is going to be hard to hide.
Yeah.
But no one would bat an eye of you guys sneaking out of the kitchen, right?
No.
Did you guys deal with the...
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you could act your way out of that if you wanted to.
Right, but I think I'm going to look at Yewsiff, and I'm like, I think that now that we're back in possession of our gnome friends, well, not possession. I mean, I think that's probably the issue, but in the company of our gnome friends, I doubt my friend here is going to want to leave them behind again.
Yewsiff turns to the crowd of gnomes that is congregated.
Oh, yeah.
And he pulls his hair out of the ponytail and lets it fall like he would when he was working in the town and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of, I'm sorry that I wasn't there.
Their eyes are all on you.
We're going to try and find a place to keep you safe until we can get you back to Dagnaruz.
The main gnome, who has been talking, we'll stick with one character for ease of this, raises his hand. Is it standing still? Do we still have a home to go back to?
It is standing. Well, standing is the operative word, isn't it? Most of the stuff was underground, luckily.
True. Will we be safe there, or...
Unfortunately, because Chesterfield is gone, the magical wards will not be in place or intact currently. But there might be a way to rebuild them, maybe change the source of their power. I suppose it's up to you, but I am willing to do the work to return you to your home.
They start to murmur among themselves. The main gnome, who...
It is possible that with our new allies, and he looks to the Drow that's been talking, maybe you could find a new home here, depending on what happens with, well, the events that we have set in motion and the plans that we have to liberate not only you, but members of this city that have been lied to and coerced.
Well, it sounds like your work here in Skypoint still exists. There's still work for you to do.
Indeed.
Excuse me. Do you... I mean, we've been able to manage so far. Maybe we find a place to hide and then journey back when things are less hot.
Yewsiff nods. He's like, that was my plan currently. Long term, I would love to see you restored to Dagnaruz and it itself restored.
And we've only seen these Drow as like guards, and they seem capable enough. I guess my question is, do you feel the need to lead us back home now, or should we just follow the Drow here back to the city?
He looks to the Drow that they've been talking to.
Mm-hmm.
And looks to Taslin.
The Drow does pipe up. I mean, I think we owe it to the gnomes to get them somewhere safe, and we can do that for you. Don't let
Not to bring up past trauma, but at the moment, given the current unrest, both in the city and without, do you have much of a home to go back to? We briefly went past the village, and it was... I don't know what it was like when you all were taken, but...
Yeah, we were discussing that. It's... The top is fairly raised.
sad, mournful murmurs.
I feel like it would be best for you to stay here currently. Long term, like I said, we could talk about reuniting you with your home. Us with your home.
Okay. Well, I guess let's... And he says something to a nearby gnome, and it propagates a little bit before he brings his attention back to you. I think if we can find somewhere to be safe for now, either under the city or around it, and if these Drow can provide us protection, maybe more than 4 would be good, and we can strip, some of these guards and soldiers of their weapons. We can make do for the time being. I don't sense it a permanent solution, as I don't know if the city above is able to absorb so many of us at once.
We'll start small. He looks to the Drow. He's like, do you think you can accomplish that?
Yeah, I think we can.
Are there room for more? Because from the looks of it, and he looks around, he's like, from what I saw when the attack happened from afar, more than this was seized and carted away. And they even said that they had been split apart. I would do my best to try and find the rest of them and regroup them.
Yeah, I mean, this is already sizable as it is, but we can make do. The Sink has a lot of hidden areas. Our new boss can attest to it, I suppose. But, yeah, it would take a long while for the effect of all of these gnomes' presence, their pull at resources to be felt. Especially if we're backing them.
Do you feel...
eventually we'll need a briefing to see what has happened. We're a little bit, we're a little bit lost.
Yeah, I think those are above-ground conversations, I think.
Do you feel confident you could get them back to where they need to go using the underground route safely? Or do you need us to come with you?
I think we can. What I would recommend is maybe finding Talonthane is still alive. Is that correct?
Correct, yes. Talenthane's alive.
Then, yeah, if he or any maybe 4 or 5 more can meet us the other way, we'll be fine. It's gonna be risky, but it's also territory we know.
I flash Yewsiff a look that is just like, bro, are you sure? Like, we came a long way and went through a lot to get these folks back. I'm fine if we need to babysit them back to the Sink, like, I'm fine going with. Like, there's a lot of shit going on in town right now, but that's worth our time and attention as far as I'm concerned.
Yewsiff, roll a history check.
Okay. 11.
11. You know that there is an obligation coming up, but it has something to do with your deal, what you found in the sink from the exploded Wang Doodle, the summons to meet your pursuer. That's kind of your main obligation within the next few hours.
Oh, right, the last of the...
Yeah, maybe more than a few hours. You have to the dead hour when everyone's asleep. But that would prevent you from going with them. And you could go with them. That's the choice as you're looking through kind of your priorities. Going with them would probably take a couple days. And that would be a couple days of missed, of not meeting Barnack and Barnock.
I can't remember. It refreshed my memory. What was the summons? Like, what did it include?
It was, unless you want more fireworks, meet me at the Beholder's Wash, or where the statue of a beholder exists, and we'll hash it out.
Okay.
Assuming that you'll turn yourself in. You know, that's kind of the assumption of the thing. Like, give yourself up, come to me, let's deal with it. But that was the nature of it, and it was the Wang Doodle that had blown up, as well as a few other different places.
Oh, right. The collateral damage of me being here is kind of like their calling card.
Yeah.
Like, you should probably stop this.
Yeah. So that would be a big choice to make, in that if you felt safer going with them, that might like help a lot. But you'll probably be. We'd have to do some rolls, but my guess would be maybe 3 days of rough, circuitous travel, keeping them safe, and then that would be possibly 3 days of
more collateral damage.
Yeah. So that would be going through your mind. That's a lot for rolling an 11, but it's been a while since we recorded, so
yeah.
You have a big choice. And then while you're thinking, Tazlin, they've just been planning things. The Drow pitched helping all the gnomes to get through the Underdark, back to the Sink, and just needing Talonthane to send a contingency to meet them on the other side, if that's what everyone goes with. They just need someone to help them cross the finish line, essentially, with backup in case they're fleeing things or too worn down.
I mean, we can split the party, and I can go up in the way we came and
splitting the party.
Talonthane.
Splitting the party sounds so fun for me.
Well, I mean, the main
Ungroup.
like the main thing that, like, if we were to split, like, it would be me going up to deal with whatever the fuck his name is, Barnack.
Yeah, the last of the
Or Barnock.
the Cania Death Rider
Yeah.
fellows.
The Blackguard.
All right. I love you all. Go away. Team meeting. Band meeting. Everybody else, have some water. Here's some snacks.
Here's the.
Well, and I'll.
Maybe it's easier for us to
We'll go into the
We'll go back
command
to the
tent.
tent.
Yeah, we'll go to the command tent.
Yeah. Because, I mean, this is just a large mass of people just kind of like, what are we doing?
Right.
Like, in a daze. So, yeah, you guys can leave my room.
Take this time to strip the bodies and
Strip
stuff
each
of
other?
people that
Okay, got it.
Oh, we will strip each other.
Strip search each other.
We'll strip each other raw. It'll be great.
Oil each other up. Greco-Roman wrestling
go
tournament starts.
back and loot the bodies of your captors. Take what you can and be ready to move once we figure out what we're going to do.
Okay.
And for those of you that need healing and rest, take it now. We'll have some respite before whatever we decide.
I give, even though I'm walking back to the tent with them, like, I give Yewsiff a very, like, serious, non-serious salute.
Mm-hmm. Okay, gang. So, we've got 2 rods. Touch the tips together, see what happens.
Yeah, we do.
Right, so, couple things. We've got a zombie king. We've got, who knows what, when we get back upstairs. I mean, it's only been a couple hours, but if the town's going to be in a state of some sort of civil unrest or not. You've got a high noon duel with a ghoul. But what do we think? There's a big sarcophagus somewhere currently regrowing upon him. I guarantee it, right? That either needs these rods, or we need to break these rods, or something. So that's a timer. Someone blew up the Wangdoodle, which we think is Barnock. So that's a timer.
If we think we can guarantee the gnome's safety getting back to the sink underground, I would prefer that. I would rather stay with them, but I don't want any more collateral damage to happen on my account.
Okay, so, we know the Beauteous Few got out, right? We know Big Mama took off out of the box that I was in during the fight, so they're gonna play for power, I'm sure. Either with the king or in the streets.
Well, I am on a time limit there too, because they are. Did I share this information? I don't know if I did.
I don't think you did.
The Beauteous Few, Mama Aphrodite there, is essentially torturing Esbel right now. So,
fun.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just making her be on door duty. There's torture happening.
No, there's straight up torture happening right now.
So rescue your bestie.
Don't exactly know where she is, but that's happening.
And then, just John, remind me, where did we leave Little Thing and Fee at Hoos? Where are they?
I think Little Thing is at Hoos, but Fee and Kiki were sent to because Kiki needed to go back to her place for something, I think, or you sent her off to go find sympathetic people.
Right.
But kind of
not bang your dad.
General errand, but she did want to go back to her place, and Fee decided to follow her to chaperone her, where you'll remember that Fee ran afoul of Cheshire, jumped him, hogtied him, and he is now their prisoner, and they're just chilling. He was going back for some nookie, some furball nookie, and instead he is now tied up, and he is.
Yeah, I gave Fee full permission to do any of that. So.
Okay, good.
So they're just kind of chilling at Kiki's dump of a living situation, waiting for further orders.
Alrighty.
So they seem pretty safe and not relatively not on a time limit. Well, maybe Cheshire's dignity, but
sure.
He doesn't have any, so
right,
it's fine.
yeah.
Well, gang, other than me wanting to kind of maybe scoop up the corpse of House Tempers dealing in the cities for my own personal gain, I think you guys have got some more pressing issues. Do we rock, paper, scissors? What do we, you've got to, Yewsiff, we've got to be ready. Like, what's the deal here with Barnock? Like, what do you get the sense? Do we have to stand on the sidelines and watch you two lock horns? Is it a duel? Is it a pride thing? Can I stab him in the back of the nuts? Like, what's the rules here?
I won't know that until I get there, but considering, I think he's the only one left, right? Because we
killed
took out
everybody else. Yeah.
If you want to do maybe a history in terms of Cania history with advantage, you might be able to kind of work through an answer to his question.
Go with a 12.
12 with advantage still.
I rolled an 11 and a 5. History is a +1 for me.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Because it's intelligence based.
And he's a big, thick dum-dum.
Unless I can roll insight.
Maybe try insight. You can give that one a try. History is not giving you a whole lot.
Yeah, 11 plus 5 would be a 16.
Okay. A moderate kind of information. You know that despite Cania being a place where knowledge is collected and gathered, and that's kind of M's whole deal, doesn't mean that it's polite or hoity-toity. And in fact, in your infernal opinion compared to some of the hells might be the most dishonest of the hells, in your opinion. That nothing about this would be on the up and up.
Right. That's kind of what I figured, just because, like, growing up with their tactics.
Yeah, and Illithid appears out of the corner and is like, that's a trap! And then just floats away with a sad trombone. But yeah, this screams, this isn't going to be a fair situation. This is going to be a guarantee that you acquiesce sort of situation.
Yeah,
You've been in rooms with ultimatums, where ultimatums were given. You've experienced them secondhand, and there's nothing that is ever done that's fair about them.
I'm guessing that they're going to have some type of leverage to hold against me. And did he say come alone? I feel like he did.
The note never said anything about that, but it might, it could be assumed.
He might be judging this interaction to be in his favor based on the politeness of what I am. I'm sure he was briefed on me before coming to get me. So I think absolutely you can stab him in the nuts. But I would guess being hidden before that would be best. So maybe I come alone, quote unquote, although he's probably too smart to think that that's actually the case.
Sure, and who knows who he's been able to rally to his side at the...
Exactly. I'm sure he is. He came with 4. Was it 4 or 5? I think it was 4.
Yeah.
He came with 4 others.
Or no, he came with 3 others. Sorry.
3 others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, so right. The tall, thin guy and the 2 females.
They're missing a thumb.
I'm sure he has probably tried to hire some muscle to help him do this while he's here.
Sure.
Or he's called more.
Yeah, I mean, my only thought was that Taz and I could go try to deal with Esmeralda, but I feel like... Esmeralda. Whatever.
This is turning to be a canon thing that,
if it's not written,
Fetter's not getting any names.
If it's not written down, I'm a contract guy. And also, there's a mild disregard for non-demons or non-devils that goes along with that too. Like whatever your name is.
Jerry P. Human.
Yeah. Right, so we should have your back. Yeah, I mean, I think that's so what do we think? We make our way out the way we came.
If
maybe make a stink out of, I mean, how do we want to play this? We shut down the kitchen. Like we shut down, but the restaurant was still open. Do we want to sneak out? Do we want to make a bigger deal out of things as they are? Or?
Yeah, I say we sneak out and maybe take a breather before tonight because I am spent.
Right, so that's tonight. Well, fuck. All right, well, we've got like a 2-hour hike at least to get out of here, so we should get going, yeah?
What time did we come in?
You came in...
Because I can look at my watch and tell you exactly what time it is right now.
It's about 8 now, and you came in a couple hours ago, maybe 5-ish.
So in the afternoon?
It was afternoon. It's evening now.
Fuck, so I'm not going to be able to rest before this. I'm not going to be able to take a long rest.
It's cutting it up pretty close. I think like 5 or so. Like it's not very many hours before. Yeah, because you still have to travel back up.
I am going to be at an incredible disadvantage during this encounter. I'm out of 3rd level spells. I have 2 2nd level and 2 1st level left, and all my healing's gone.
Well, this will be fun.
Right, so let's get back up there and try to see if we can get you some artificial juice before this all goes down. I mean, I'm feeling hale and hearty, but I don't have any tricks.
Do you have to choose how many dice you're using when you take a short rest, or can you just use the ones that you need?
Yeah, you can just use the ones you need.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like I used 6 of them to heal back up to full.
So you're back to full.
I only used 4.
I used 2, and I'm at 79 out of 80.
So I'm gonna.
I had to use 6 to be able to roll 25 to get back to my...
Use.
Fetter, did you go back to full?
Yeah, I'm at 79 out of 80.
Okay.
Oh boy. Okay. That'll do it.
You're back to full?
Yes. I had to use 9 dice, but... Oof. Or no, 7 dice, sorry, because I used 4 to begin with.
At least you guys are full up.
As much as I can be. Tazlin, do you have anything that belongs to your friend?
Which friend?
The one that's being tortured.
No. Why?
Well, if you had something of theirs, I might be able to try and find, or knew of something that they had. Some type of link from them to them, or something that they also carry. I might be able to... I can find an object using my spells. I can't really find a person, but if you knew that they carried something on them, I might be able to help us find her.
Oh. No. But thank you.
Well, let's,
We can make that tomorrow's problem. Right now I feels like, given... Now that I'm realizing how tight of a window we have, it feels like tonight's problem is a pretty significant one.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, let's mosey on up, I guess.
You start to make your way back after filling in, at least I assume you do, you fill in the Drow on the plan to have them escort the gnomes to the sink using some Underdark channels that are familiar to them. Kind of how the Drow of the Manganal are able to get around the city so quickly is that they have some of these routes, and the Drow you rescued weren't so new that they didn't know them. But there are 4 of them defending a huge group of gnomes. There may be some risk. As with all things, it's hard to say until you get to the other side, but as long as you're thinking this as you make your way up.
Hold on, right before we leave, sorry, I want to do one thing.
Sure.
I want to hand one of my daggers to Chief Looking Gnome.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to hand, one dagger to the Chief Gnome and 1 dagger to the most responsible looking Drow.
Okay.
And I'll be like, we'll be able to find these, all right? So I know we're kind of leaving you guys in the lurch. If anything happens, if things go bad, just try to get to Talonthane. We'll be around soon.
All right, we will.
Yeah.
Thank you for your rescue and your forgiveness, he says, kind of thoughtful, as he starts to head off and help the other Drow shepherd the gnomes, gather loot from the bodies of the guards, armor pieces, and start to begin their exodus as you're leaving. As long as you let Talonthane know at some point, they should be... You think they'll be relatively fine. It's hard to say. There'll be some rolls. There's always risk. But you make your guys' way up. It takes... someone want to do an all-encompassing survival check for the 3 of you?
Sure.
What's your survival, babe?
+5.
Yeah, I think you're this...
Yeah, mine's the highest.
+3.
Oh, well then, yeah, you do it.
Because I have +8.
Jeez, all right.
From all of your time spent.
Yep, running around the wilderness. Oof.
Can I aid?
Yeah, I was going to say,
Since
one
I'm trained
or both of us
with it.
can...
Or proficient?
Yeah, you can aid.
That was better. 22.
22? Not too bad. It takes... you get to... There's an area where there's a bit of a dip and you think you lose some time, but you finally make your way back to the very decrepit and icky kitchen at around midnight-ish, according to Fetter's watch. And as you start to reach the maw, you hear a dragon. No. You hear, though, a lot of...
Don't remind me of all my times playing in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Because I quite literally... The only reason why I stopped playing that game was because I would go into a building and I'd come out and a dragon would attack. I'd go into another building and I'd come out and a dragon would attack. I was literally fighting dragons non-stop.
Kobold.
Yeah.
Stop it.
But there is a lot of noise, a lot of reverberation of music as whatever is going on out there with music, entertainment is loud. And you guys poke your heads out of the kitchen and you do see that Flipbit Kissy's there. And they're just straight up playing music that everyone can dance to, and there's a lot of dancing going on. And everyone's getting pretty wild with it. There's just a lot of noise, a lot of distraction as you peek out of the kitchen. And you find yourselves up basically just before the turn of the day. It's about midnight. It is just party hardy o'clock here at the Gaping Maw.
I will. Yeah, I'm happy to just sneak out through, just try to blend with the crowd and.
Yeah, I mean, do a stealth check with advantage. All ya. Because this thing is just... Enough people got drunk. Or...
I put my cloak and stuff back on that we bought for the occasion of me being able to walk around in armor.
Sure.
18.
Ooh. 19.
19.
10.
Thankfully, the other two are able to... They're stealthy enough that they can get you through. You do bump into a few people who are a little perturbed, but they don't really... They want to get back to the fun. And before moments pass, you guys make your way back out into the night air of Sky Point. Cool. A nice cool breeze. And relatively empty streets as... At least in this area...
That was me doing a breeze.
That's like, what fucking swamp witch? Just,
Hello, hag.
I was like, Jesus Christ. I thought it was outside. Is there a banshee in the neighborhood?
You know how, like, with the grocery store, they have those, like, air things that push down as you walk through? They've just rolled up a hag up there to aim down with her breath as people walk through, like...
I thought it was a soft and gentle.
I was like, what the fuck? What was soft enough that I thought it was coming from your courtyard? I was like,
Yeah, I saw the look on your face and I was like, oh, clearly he did not know that was coming from me.
what the fuck?
Performance check to fail.
This is why I don't play bards.
Amazing.
So, yeah. The cool night air, lightly breezy, not so breezy. And clear sky, stars at night. You start to make your way toward the landmark that was specified in the note. Thanks to Taslin.
John, is there like an all-night CVS full of healing potions and spell slot rejuvenating Red Bull?
Pharmacy.
Do a... I guess this would be a survival check, urban style.
I was going to say, can I use my, like...
Can I give him advantage?
Yeah, but you could, Feder, you could use your, I think I know what you're going for. The...
or even better, I've also got the criminal spy.
Yeah, the
criminal contact.
Yeah, that's kind of the same thing. If you utilize that, you should be fine.
Yeah, like there's got to be someone's got a safe house that's got some juice in it, you know, some slightly contraband uppers or something. So what do you want from me, John?
Just
Just taking a
Investigation,
line.
survival.
yeah, investigation.
Maybe ask the same person you're asking about this if there's been a word of work in the last couple of days for hired muscle.
Yeah, I will do that as well. It is 19 becomes 30.
So, through the journey towards where you're supposed to go, Feder, you've been keeping your eye out, looking for signs of something a little bit more quick and dirty in terms of potion scrolls and what have you, and thanks to your criminal spy background and all that, you do find something fairly quickly in your journey. It's a bit of one of those like singular type of carnival type tents that look like they could hold maybe 2 people in them, but there is kind of at least a muted, very faded color to it that it may have once been used for some sort of carnival. Think 40% saturation, if I may use some Photoshop speak. Very faded, but it just has a certain vibe about it that you're like, this might be something, given that it's placed in kind of an off-center spot. Like there's cues from this that suggests to you that there's more to it than meets the eye, and that this might be some magical mercantile respite.
Sure.
And you.
All right.
Do you divert to that? Do you tell them to divert? How do you? What do you?
I'm gonna be like, Yewsiff, how do you feel, bud? Do we want to get juiced up, get some potions and things before we do this, or you want to march in how you are? Because I feel like that over there is probably gonna at least be able to. But who knows? We could get trapped in an infinite maze inside whatever that weird tent is, and then you miss your thing. But I mean,
That's just my childhood.
No, we can chance it.
okay, great. You coming in? You staying out? I'm gonna go in and try to haggle us something, but I don't know what you need. So
No, I'll come in.
okay.
All right, first,
I'm gonna
Feder.
march confidently through the.
Indeed. And you march confidently through into a much larger tent, which shouldn't be any sort of surprise. And it seems to be this. It almost feels like a classroom where the idea behind it is more of a circular discussion. You see a table that kind of forms a crescent almost around from where you walk in, and you can see loads of different scrolls and bottles and things aligned neatly. In the back, you can see some shelves of books that seem almost magical decoration. And in the center, with a more of a teacher's pointing stick, you see this very tall female elf in a more scholarly, fancy robes with a bit of a mean look on her. And she just turns to you and points the teaching stick at you. Fuck you want?
Calm down, my friend. We're in a bit of a hurry, but we need a little bit of a magical top off before we get ourselves into some trouble.
Oh, I see. Well then.
And
You were coming in with an energy, and I responded in kind. Forgive me.
And I'll
Puts the stick down.
I step through the door.
She just
and
eyes flit down. Oh.
I'll do a little hand gesture of thieves' cant just to see if she clocks it at all.
Her eyes flit down to that, and she responds in kind. You seem on the up and up. I've never seen you before. So, what can I help you with?
I'm just
Quickly.
like in the doorway, just kind of watching this all unfold.
Speak up. I don't have all day. Don't have all night either.
This is alright, this is my friend. This is my friend. He's got some needs, and you're gonna fill them. Tez, whatever.
So you say.
Whatever you need as well.
What can I get for you? Straighten up. You look a little tired. Straighten up.
I am tired.
No excuse when you're in the presence of scholarly. Up. Come. And she comes closer to you. All right. What can I get for you?
He changes his posture. He's like, I am pretty sure I'm walking into a fight, and I am tapped spell-wise, power-wise. So, what do you have?
A garden variety health potion. Is that something you're looking for? Are you looking to be chugging some healthies as you hurt, or what?
I'm not hurt. I have...
As you hurt.
Oh, as I hurt.
Pay attention.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
Okay. Well, we have a few, and we can work out a price of that. Is there anything else in particular you're looking for? A potion of giant strength, or I can take a look at some stock if you need.
And I'll whisper to the side of Yewsiff. I'm like, I've got a potion of fire giant strength too, if that's going to be helpful at all to you.
Might be. Maybe not the potion of giant strength, maybe some healing.
Some healing? Okay. Let me take a look. And by taking a look, she just uses her teaching stick, which would normally be pointing at like a whiteboard or a blackboard or something, and a visual magical scroll comes down of supplies, which is just code for I'm looking things up.
Is there good hold music in here?
Fantasy Costco.
Like, do you guys have like a meatball sampling table or like a
Right.
$100 hot dogs?
Feeding time at the zoo, as it were.
We've got magical IKEA going on here.
So Drew, I'm gonna hand Yewsiff that. I'll slip Drew that potion of fire giant strength while we're.
What does that do again?
You can look it up. It makes you real beefy and.
It's like eating the sandwiches from Castle
Castle
Crashers.
Crashers. I mean,
Okay.
I know what it does. I just don't know if you had it written down or not.
So we have a few options. If you're looking, are you looking to be more offensive or defensive? Offensive or defensive?
Let's go defensive.
Defensive. We have a potion of invulnerability, a potion of invisibility. We have a potion of resistance. Let's see what else. So we have the healing potions, and then gaseous form might help in terms of defensive.
The potion of invulnerability, what does that do?
After you drink it for about a minute, you have resistance to all damage you receive. I will say that it tastes like drinking liquid iron, but
So blood.
yeah.
I'm fine with that.
But maybe more disappointing than that. Seems to be the review. But if you value invulnerability, that is for you.
Learn
Although-
something new about Yewsiff every day.
Keeping in mind, there is some cost to this, so we'll discuss that in a minute. But first, I need a picture of what you're looking to encounter here.
It's probably best you don't know.
I don't care the particulars so much. I just need to know so I can offer you suggestions. This is how this relationship is going to work. I don't
If I were fighting someone like myself,
like you. Oh, would that we had a potion of infernal damage. That would be great. But we don't. Yeah, no, I am... Unfortunately, there's nothing that would help, of like a potion of radiance that could help, but
I've got that covered.
heroism might help. A potion of heroism.
Fear's not a problem. How much for the invulnerability and a couple of healing potions?
Invulnerability, I'm thinking... Let's start the invulnerability at about 500 gold.
Yeah, never mind. This is already too... How about just the healing potions?
The healing potions.
Yeah, how much for those?
Let me pull
I've
it
got. We can get you there, bud. What do you got cash wise? Like, what do we? But like, if you really want that, then
No, it's too much.
I have every of the kind of healing potions. Healing, greater, superior, supreme. It's just a matter of which one you want. For the superior, let's just assume you want to be getting back some... Not superior, excuse me, supreme. We're thinking maybe 5,000 for supreme.
Yeah. 5,000 is another zero on top of 500, which was the last price you gave me, so that's not going to work either. What do you have in like the 50 to 100 range?
50 to 100 range.
He just kind of shakes his head.
So we have some just basic healing. The regular healing potion at maybe 20. I have 3 of them I can give you for 20 each. And then a greater healing, 100.
I'll take the greater.
Okay. Take the greater. Do you want the smaller healing ones as well?
Nope, that taps me out. Thank you very much.
I see.
hey, so if I were to want that potion of invulnerability,
Yeah, for 500.
and I could offer you this, and I'll pull out the one of the uncut emeralds and 2 of the uncut ambers. And these are raw, like right out of the ground. You can cut these into whatever you want. You can do all sorts of stuff with them.
She doesn't grab them, but she comes closer to you and respectfully looks them over in your hand. Let's see. What do we got here? Which ones did you show her?
The bigger of the uncut emeralds and 2 of the amber.
Bigger of the ambers and emeralds.
Emeralds.
All right. More looking through. You're making me look through all this.
Yeah, John, I threw a store at you. With no warning.
She stares at it for a long time. There it is. I just have to remember what the gemstone is worth. What did you hand her? You handed her 2 of the emeralds?
1 emerald and
One
2
emerald
amber.
and 2 amber. I'm just... this
One
is the
emerald.
opening bid.
And 2 amber. She smiles. Yeah, I'll take that and even add, why don't we give another potion in here? Maybe I'll toss in the 3 smaller healing ones as well.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, That should work just fine for me.
Am I getting fleeced, John? Can I buy a lot more with this?
You could probably insight.
Yeah.
You could probably insight her.
17 and an 18, John. So
17 and 18. Ooh. You can see from her that she is getting a better deal out of it. It's not so much nefarious. It's more like, oh, this works for me, and it's extra. It's change. Cool.
Yeah.
So you know that you could probably push for another, maybe not a healing one, but she might get her rankles up. But
how about that? Let's. I'm new in town. I'm not sure what the exchange rate is. I have a feeling. How about maybe that gaseous form potion and the rest in health potions and whatever you're comfortable with, and then
she thinks it over. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That gaseous form evens it out, makes it a little bit more of an equal exchange for you with the 3 health potion, the basic health, gaseous form, and then.
Because what had you ordered? You already bought stuff, right?
I got the greater healing potion.
Okay, so I'm getting the invulnerability for you, and then how many healing potions, John?
The 3 regular,
3 reggies,
and then the gaseous form.
and then the gaseous form. And my associates and I will note your cooperation in the time of need, and this will come to benefit you at some point in the future. What was your name again?
She smirks. Norinth Palo. That's a name you can use, and you can probably find me. And you seem to have a sharp eye for places such as mine, so I don't think you'll have a hard time finding me.
I was gonna say, do you relocate? Is this a
I move.
Wang Doodle situation, or not the Wang Doodle? What's the cabinet? The mercurial.
Something like that, although I move around. That was my idea, but yes, just like the mercurial cabinet.
Oh, is it a little gimmick infringement here? They steal your shit?
Yeah, well, what can you do?
Well,
North what?
Palo.
Palo.
Well,
Like I am your pal.
Oh.
yeah, I don't love that.
Pal.
Well, again, Norn, thank you, and wish us luck.
I guess so, yes. Luck in whatever you do, as long as it's on your own time and doesn't involve me.
Cool. So, everyone want a healing? Well, you've got your healing potions. I've already got one. Do you need 2 healing potions, Taz? Just to have in the back pocket?
Yeah, because I don't think I have any.
Yeah, because I have 1 in my stash. So I'll have 2, you'll have 2. I'll give you the invulnerability potion. I'm going to keep the gaseous form potion, even though I can probably move faster on my feet than as gas, but I also don't have any magic tricks, so.
I mean, these are greater healing?
No, these are just normies.
Normie healing? Okay.
2 normies. And then I will head out the tent with a flourish.
Prepping to go to Barnack, eh? Well, I'm sure that won't be complicated. Anyway, I like that sales lady and hope we can hear about her again someday. But right now, I gotta bounce, or hop, or skip. Point is, I gotta go. But hey, do me a favor, won't you? Come right back here next time, and I'll tell you more about what happens next in these Demon Days.
A pop-up in the top right of your screen. She appreciates that.
I need to use the restroom, and I figure we can turn the air back
break.
on
Take a
for
break.
second.
Yeah.
Oh, break. I'm just sweating so much.
I mean, I took 3 of those monks to the face until they were all mystically
Giggity.
summoned back to
Yeah.
the dude, because Yewsiff was one-on-one with him.
A mushroom
Yeah,
man.
they were just like punch, kick, and I was like, ow, prone.
And they're like,
Ow.
Ow. Ow.
that's the whole show now.
Yeah. Does a 23 hit?
Christ on a bike.
Is it a 3-wheeler?
Thank you.
Fuck yeah.
Falcon punch. I don't know why I thought of that. Sorry, word association goes places.
Right. Again,
Anywho.
I'm
I have so many bug bites on my feet. It's driving me insane.
it's time to lotion up those feet. We'll put that on the Discord. That'll get a whole. That'll drive some numbers.
Like 3 or 4.
So
I've been doing nothing but putting like the bug bite Benadryl on them, and it like manages it for maybe like 5 minutes, and
juice
then
it up. We got to get you like a big vat of goo to just stick your tootsers in.
yeah.